odd though, but he had the whole thing with the with the Versace shirt and the he
Yeah,
had
yeah,
the belt buckle on and then the matching shoes and then he was like, look at the whip, and then he had the Lambo wrapped in like with all matching Versace, bro. He thought he
yeah.
was killing.
He died out with that shit.
He thought he was killing,
He
bro.
thought
But
that was the one. His stylist told him, "Nah, that ain't it." He was like, "Yeah, this is him."
his stylist probably told him, damn near that's the one, bro.
Uh,
I mean, shit, if you base it off of what 50 usually dresses, then yeah, I mean, he's a mile ahead of where what he used to do. Like 50 is like really, really improved. But sometimes he has those moments where he's just like, bro, what are you doing?
yeah, for sure. He
What
got
are
me
you doing? First of all, nigga, don't wrap a
wide.
damn near $1 million car or $250,000 car in a car body wrap that's like $1,500 or whatever. Like, stop, bro. Like,
Why not? They all doing it.
yeah, that's true. They are
Eminem just
doing it,
had his
man.
Lambo wrapped in his album cover. That shit was lucky fire though.
Yeah, all right, I ain't
That's
gonna hate.
because his album cover is low key dope.
I ain't gonna hate. Fuck it. You want to get into it, man? Let's get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it.
Let's get into it. Wait a minute. Let's introduce this first. This is Two Black Sheep, episode 2.
Yes, indeed.
Uh, you know the podcast album breakdown. I think we're gonna talk about Return of the Dreamers 3.
Revenge of the Dreamers,
Revenge, Revenge,
Revenge
Return
of
of
the
the
Dreamers. Let
Revenge.
me make sure I stay in front of this light for those that are watching the video broadcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Revenge of the Dreamers 3.
3. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
So,
We can get into it.
well, when did they? I don't want to go like too heavy into the breakdown, but I mean, as far as laying out what happened, I think everybody pretty much knows. At the top of the year, Dreamville announced like a little rap camp where they were inviting different rappers, different artists, different producers, and all types of shit. Even like some social media influencers or
Yeah, Jinx was there.
Jinx was that. Well, they I can't figure out what to call them right now. Like they used to be called like MTV VJs, but
I would think they just
but
called like
bloggers and like different people that are like
internet
within the
media
culture,
people.
internet media personalities. Boom, there you go.
Yeah,
You feel me? Basically, like shit with the we're trying to do in a sense. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. So J Cole, next time you throw in one of them, send a nigga invite one time. I
I'll for
slide.
sure take an invite.
I
I
slide.
I, I got a couple bars. I'll lay a verse down. You feel
Right, I
me?
could drop a sweet 8 real
You know what I'm
fast,
saying? Hey, check this out. Hey, I could get a smooth 8 off. I could
real
get a
quick,
smooth 8 off.
real
Oh, that's what
quick.
we doing? Everybody on the song? Oh yeah, I could get a smooth 8 off for you. I got you. Don't even
For
trip.
sure.
I got you. You feel me? But to just give a little bit of backstory to this, as far as the record itself, with all of the artists that were involved in Dreamville, and man, bro, like this was like kind of like a stepping stone to kind of like get the label to another level, a higher plateau in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Um,
I feel like it was
I
their first commercial um reach as a collective.
In a sense, yeah. In a sense, yeah. Because if you go back and you listen to Revenge of the Dreamers, the first one, that wasn't a commercial release. It was like on like Hot New Hip Hop, Dat Piff, live mixtapes, like shit like
Yeah.
that. You feel me? And then when they did Revenge of the Dreamers 2, I think they had added Ari and maybe Kaz or somebody to the roster at that point,
Okay.
and then they dropped that on. I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. But then they dropped that, and they dropped Revenge of the Dreamers 2 on DSP. So that one was on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, wherever you know what I'm saying, wherever you stream your music. And then this one, was kind of them kind of stepping into, okay, let's really push our Dreamville artists. We have a full roster now. Let's kind of get them ingratiated in the industry as far as working with all the movers and the shakers, and just being able to have like a big networking event where people can be creative. And I thought that this was a damn good idea. I think more labels or more rap camps or cliques should do things like this, just to get the creativity sparked and get music made and just create some special moments for the culture. What do you think?
Yeah, I would second that. It's a great idea for sure. Um,
But at the same time, I would say it's one of those things where it's like, you know how we were talking about before, when we were talking about the Jay interview, when he was saying that Kanye is always one of those people that's going to march to the beat of his own drum, and he's going to be the individual that goes out first and goes the farthest first, even though he might get killed for it. But
yeah,
it's for the betterment, or whatever, of the next person that he hands the baton over to, or the next person that takes up the range and takes up the reins, excuse me, in that particular lane. And I just feel like in execution this may have been off a bit, but the idea and the just the fact that they did it, I think, is a step in the right direction.
yeah. I would say it's a good idea for sure. Like getting your name out there, getting your newer artist out there by introducing them basically to all these other artists by having them in the studio together.
Hmm.
That's that's a good idea. Kind of like put that into the newer age ways of rap, hip hop, because just 10 years ago, cliques were separated. Cliques used to only fuck with cliques. G Unit didn't do no collabs with Dipset like that. Like, you know what I mean? Young Money
Hmm.
wasn't
Terror
running
Squad.
around with exactly, shit like that. Like, so it is kind of, I don't know, new age. It's kind of like
Shit,
how
10 years
basketball is
ago. We
now.
talking about
All these people.
2009.
Yeah, exactly.
There wasn't no Terror Squad
That's
then.
only. I mean, yeah, it was.
Not really.
Terror Squad was around when Big Pun was up.
Yeah, but that was 20 years. That would be 1999.
I know. So I'm saying it's just Rim was out, and they was going through their rough time. 10 years
Yeah,
ago, DJ Khaled was on Terror Squad, wasn't
he was.
he? Yeah, that's when he was skinnier. But I
No,
equate
he
it to like
wasn't.
the new how basketball is now. Everybody friends and buddies, and it's
Hmm.
not so much competition, but it's more collaboration.
Because
And so,
I think we've gotten to, or we're getting to a point, whereas artists are starting to take back the control of their art, take back the control of their work. Just like in the NBA, like players are taking control of their destinies and where they go. And we've never seen a time like this, to whereas um the balance has been so shifted on one end. Yeah, the powers that be do have like their say so and all of that, but like the old guard and those old ways just don't work or reach adequately anymore. It's
yeah,
really about your relationship with people, your relationship with your consumer, your relationship with other artists, and uh, how all of that kind of like blossoms, or how I don't really know how else to say it, but but
no,
yeah,
I
it's
I get
really
what you're
about
saying.
those types of relationships. It's like, what do people think of you as a person? Do people like your music? Because if people like you as a person, people are pretty much gonna probably support and like your music. But if you're offering just music with no real personality or no relationship, then what's the point?
Yeah, personality sells nowadays, and it matters because of social media.
Yeah,
Because everybody wants to be able to see the human version of you, see you get upset, see you get mad, you know what I mean? See all your emotions, let you know that okay, I'm just like this person in a sense.
exactly. Exactly,
So
exactly.
I could relate to them a little more, and so I'll listen to their music. So yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I feel like that's why J. Cole went and started stepping out of his shell when he was so like behind the scenes so much, just drop, never do interviews, never collab with people, and people was killing him for it. And then what he do? All last year and so far this year, he's like, "Fuck it, this what y'all want?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
I'm gonna
give it
give
to
it to
you.
y'all."
But then at the same time, it's also helping him set up, um,
His
his
artist,
artists and
yeah,
give them a place to kind of, what I'm saying, either utilize this time and utilize his grind to kind of, kind of work them up the ladder a little bit as far as their stature in the game. I ain't mean to do that, but um, let's get into the album. Let's get into the album. Let's
all
get into
right.
the album. Revenge of the Dreamers 3. This was recorded in 10 days. They rented out a studio in Atlanta and just invited everybody who's anybody that wanted to come and to make some dope shit. And I think they made some pretty good music. They made some pretty good music.
Let me
Um,
see. How many tracks was on this album?
20? 18.
18.
18
Let
tracks
me
was on this album.
let me count up my good, my bad, my
Oh, and
it
the
don't matter.
ugly.
Yeah.
The
One,
good, the bad, and the ugly.
two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so
Here's
I
what I
got
okay,
8 tracks that I'd go back to.
okay.
I got 8 tracks that it's like, all right, I'll
That's
go back to.
that's about half of the record.
Yeah, that's almost half. Let's see. And
One
I
less than
got
half.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 that didn't make me sway either side. And then 1, 2, 3.
That you just didn't like.
3 and a half that I just they could have left completely off.
Well, there was a couple of things that they could have did different. I mean, but honestly, damn it, stay in front of that light. But honestly, when they first started dropping like the actual records that they were working on, they dropped Down Bad, which was catching people's ears and catching people's attention from like Instagram stories and IG videos and shit. And then they dropped Got Me, which had Ty Dolla Sign, Dreezy, Omen, and Ari. And Down Bad, of course, had Young Nudie, Smoke Perp. Excuse me, not Smoke Perp, Young Nudie, um, Cole, JID,
Oh,
Boss, and Earth Gang. Earth Gang also on that.
out of the first 2 sets of singles, what did you think?
After the first two sets of singles, I wasn't impressed. Um, I just felt like bro, like I don't know. I think just because of like I watched a lot of those like live sessions when they were like on Instagram and they was all just like in their little jam sessions. I watched a lot of those, and
Yeah,
man, I wish I was like actually covering that and like adding those lives to our YouTube as well. But I died out.
that's all right.
But yeah, but just watching those and the idea and the concept of what they were doing, I think I had set the bar a little bit too high. Yeah, I think that Down Bad is. I think the sound of it is it's an attention grabber, but I don't think that the song is an attention keeper or if retains attention rather. If that makes any sense, like I think the beat when it initially comes on and the way the beat hits, it's like, oh shit, what is that? And then niggas start rapping, and yes, niggas do rap really, really well.
Really
It
good.
it just
It's good
wasn't.
rapping on this album.
Yeah, it just wasn't it for me. Like some of the rapping was really, really good, but some of it also just wasn't hitting for different reasons or um whatever. I don't know.
Nah,
But
I would second that. I would just to generalize the whole album, just like how you said,
mhm.
it's a lot of good rapping on this album, not a lot of good songs.
I agree
If
with
that
that.
yeah, you
I
get what
can
I'm
agree with
saying?
that.
Like
I can agree with that. Just because the
good
whole
rapping,
idea of it,
not good songs.
yeah.
So like that's why I only have like 8 that it's like, all right, I would literally go back to these and listen to outside of a playlist, add them to a playlist, or it might be actually less than that, but it's like 8 that are like, okay, I could go back to these, you
Hmm.
know.
Yeah.
After hearing the first 2 singles, I wasn't impressed either though. I think everybody was a little bit or took the sessions and the whole hype of having everybody in there, their expectations were like out the roof. And then when to drop those 2 tracks as the first 2 singles, it was a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
I did like what's it
After
called better.
which ones?
The singing one got me. That kind of grew on me.
Hmm.
I didn't care
Yeah.
for it at first, but it grew
That
on me.
that grew on me too.
That grew on me for sure. And then they dropped the 2 other singles right before the album dropped. What was that? Costa Rica and
Yeah. So hearing the first two songs and not being impressed with the first two records, I did not listen to Costa Rica and Lambo Truck when they dropped those last week.
yeah,
I didn't want to ruin like my idea of the album and what I expected and what I wanted it, I guess, to be.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I didn't want to ruin that. So just based off of hearing the first two records, I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna wait until I have the actual product in my hand and I'll listen to the album as an album because I don't want to take my feelings about those first two records and project it on the rest of the music. I don't think that would have been fair.
yeah. Especially after the first 2 songs were a little underwhelming.
Right, exactly. So actually, what I did was I went back and listened to Revenge of the Dreamers 1 and 2
Mhm.
ahead of listening to 3. And I think in doing so, that kind of prepared me for what a Dreamville album would sound like, for what kind of what to expect, or at least a foundation of what to expect from them as a collective. And I think that they stepped a little bit outside of that, but not necessarily stepping outside of that, just kind of expanding their realm of their content, or how they approach doing a record.
So with that being said, Return of the Dreamers or Revenge of the Dreamer, excuse me, 1 and 2 were just Dreamville projects, just artists, right?
That is correct, just Dreamville artists, yes. And then
Okay.
this
This
one,
one is just fucking smorgasbord of fucking artists
yes, a
from all over.
compilation just to kind of get everybody in the groove and introduce the world to Dreamville, introduce the world to some new artists at the same time, and also kind of plant their flag, plant their
Yeah.
flag and say, hey, Dreamville, we here now. This is a whole nother brand, or a whole nother era, I guess, of the label. To whereas Cole and Eve are going to be putting um, a lot more light on these artists that they have on their label, and they have some pretty nice artists. I ain't gonna lie, like, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man. What did you think about? What did you think about? First of all, what did you think about the intro?
Oh, that's a standout track.
I thought that was dope, and it was like
One,
all the verses are all North Carolina niggas.
that's what I was gonna say. One, it's a good track for North Carolina,
Yes,
and I feel like it's really good to have a poppin' ass artist like the baby in the opening. And the baby did his thing. I mean, he kept his same flow, which I actually do like. I know a lot of people kill him for keeping his same flow, but that's him. that's him. Sometimes when people step out of their flow, out of their pocket,
That's when
it
they
don't
fuck shit
sound
up.
good. Yeah. And I feel like he made his shit work and he was going.
Yeah, he was. He was.
He was going. I also
Yeah,
like Luke.
I like Lou too. I thought
Luke's
that
gonna
he had
make me look into him. He gonna make me look into him.
yeah, just based off of his performance on the album. I mean, I think
Yeah.
he was only on
Because
like
he's on the
3 records, right?
yeah,
He's
two
on
or
2 or 3.
three.
Yeah, he's
But I know there's
on.
another one that I really like he's on too. Um
Yeah.
what song is that? I think PTSD he's on. I think it's PTSD.
Mm.
But
Yeah, that was a nice one too.
oh yeah, that was a nice one. But I definitely like that opening track. It's a good way to bring in the album because it instantly catches your attention. And like I said, it has the baby on it. The baby's one of the most popping artists right now. I will say one thing that I didn't like about the album. I don't like the little cheat code J. Cole did. Throwing middle child on there for the numbers.
Middle Child was always a part of this.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, maybe if you would have did a remix, that would have been super live with a whole bunch
Eh.
of other artists. But I feel like it's the only solo track.
Remixes this year have not been hitting for me.
What else
Like
remix came out?
I didn't like the Stop Snitching remix. That didn't that wasn't it. Um but yeah, really, honestly, I think that's the only one that's really like standing out in my mind as far as remixes this year. But
Yeah,
I didn't really
yeah,
feel one way or
that was a
another
little
about it.
underwhelming.
But I knew that I knew that Middle Child was a part of the Dreamville sessions and it was a part of this album, so I didn't have a problem with it.
See, I didn't know that. I thought Middle Child was like just a Lucy that he dropped from beforehand. And then I was like, oh, he's gonna throw it on this album after it's already did all these numbers. Ain't it platinum, double platinum or something? I'm like, that's a good
Yeah.
way to I'm like, that's a good way to beef up the numbers. To be like, oh, this project isn't a dud if it doesn't sell or put up numbers like that. Cause honestly, I don't think there's a lot of replay value with this song. And I don't think this CD, and I don't think it's gonna be streamed a ton. But I feel like it is a good introduction album, so to say. What are they calling this album?
Yeah, it's an album.
Okay. Yeah. So it is a good introduction album, so to say, for Dreamville. I still don't know everybody that's in Dreamville because they just have a whole bunch of artists that aren't associated with the label also on these projects.
So look, you got J. Cole, you got Ari, you got Boss, you got
Earth Gang.
Kaz, you got Earth Gang, you got Omen,
Okay, so Omen is on.
and I feel like and Luke.
Loot. And let me
Yeah,
see. I got my phone right here.
that's I think that's it.
That's it.
Because there's 9 Dreamville artists. So
God
if
damn,
we're
it's a lot
counting
of.
Earth Gang as 2 people, Johnny Venus and Dr. Dot, then yeah.
So it's just a whole bunch of other rappers that are on here that aren't any relation with
Oh, JID, I'm sorry.
Dreamville. Oh yeah, JID, of course. But
JID showed
okay,
his ass on this album.
JID always shows his ass though. He can rap.
Every yeah, of course. But every song he was on, he killed. Um, except the ladies song. I couldn't
Yeah,
like I liked that song in concept, but I couldn't find a reason for that to be on the album.
ladies. Let me see. That's
The
him and
joint with
Ti.
T.I. where they were talking about
The
different
beat
girls
sucked.
from the past and all of
The
that.
beat sucked.
It was
The
sleep.
production on this album was horrible. I'm sorry. They needed to have more producers in there or something. Like, I don't know. That's probably my biggest downfall of the album. Like, the beats just weren't up to par with the rapping for
Yeah.
the most part. There are some that was good, but like Lambo truck. I was not feeling that. I was not feeling that track at all.
You weren't feeling the back and forth
No.
rapping with the
Mm,
switching bars and doing like the guilty conscience, bad meets evil vibe of,
nah.
no?
And it kind of sounded like they was taking shots at TDE, but I mean, I know it was all in good faith, but and laughing like, but it was like how
It was
wasn't
a
it Kai?
TDE artist taking shots at TDE.
No, Kaz was rapping about how Schoolboy just dropped and Scissors popping and all this, that, and the other, and reason you're just here. Like that's how I took it. Like you know how you could laugh at
Mm.
situations and like make jokes, but there's like some underlying truth to it.
Okay, so what I took from that was he was saying, "Yo, I see all of this shit going on over there at TDE. Everybody's kind of had their shot. You feel me? You knew over there, whatever, whatever. But the way I took it was, Kaz was saying, this is some of the same shit I'm experiencing over here, and I'm seeing shit over there. So how do you feel? You feel me? Because it kind of felt like Kaz was trying to get Reason to like agree with him. So he was laying out, you feel me, like all the shit that's going on at TDE and like the opportunities that Reason isn't necessarily getting or whatever. You feel me? But at the same time, like I didn't really think that much into it because Reason he's new. Like he's only been
Yeah,
there for about a year or so. So I
yeah.
wouldn't
But
I
it just
wouldn't
sounded
I
like
wouldn't expect for that.
it just sounded to me like it was like some shots being thrown. Like you could laugh and joke around, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, what is you trying to say?
I think
Like
you're taking it too serious.
maybe, and then maybe partly because, like I said, I don't understand like why Reason is so infatuated with this Dreamville shit, and it's like, damn, bro, you need to start like riding for TDE like that. Like I ain't seen you ride for TDE since they signed you.
Yeah, everybody got to wait their turn over there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I
different.
guess. I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. But I wasn't feeling Lambo truck. That was a hard pass for me.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I was glad that I skipped listening to Lambo Truck in Costa Rica upon the drops of those because when I got the album, those songs, well, Lambo Truck was cool, but it's not one of my favorites. And then Costa Rica just sucks. They should have just kept that one. Another song that sucked was Wells Fargo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Wells
Talk about
Fargo
it.
was bad.
Talk about it.
All right, so check this out. Check this out. From listening, excuse me, not from listening, but from watching the Dreamville documentary, and again, a lot of this shit sounds good in concept. Like watching the Dreamville documentary, watching them create that record, it seemed like it was a lot of fun. So and honestly, like a lot of the music sounds like they were having a lot of fun making the music, which
Yeah.
is definitely a good thing. So um I'm all the way with that in support of
But
that.
too much fun isn't always good.
Yeah, I mean when it comes to like the cohesiveness of the record as a whole, yeah,
Yeah.
I can see where that could kind of have a little bit of an issue. But yeah, like watching them create Wells Fargo, it seemed like a lot of fun. It it sounded like it was a lot of shit going on, and I'm like, this is something I might be able to get behind. But then listening to getting the actual product of that record, I just wasn't happy with the outcome. I think it should have been a lot shorter if they were going to keep this on the record. Or, I mean, even though it was only 2 minutes, but there was no reason for everybody to have an 8 on that if it was going to be an interlude. Like, you just gave us the whole song and
Yeah.
called it an interlude. And you could have just not, you could have just not put this song on the record.
Right.
Yeah. So,
There's another song that's kind of like that in my mind, to where it was a fun record, and I'm pretty sure they had fun coming up with the concept, writing it together. Just the execution was horrible. 1993.
oh, I completely disagree. I knew you was finna say
I
1993.
do
I
not like
completely
I
disagree.
do not like the skits throughout Like the
I
talking to skit
completely
that added
disagree.
no value.
That was the
No
point of the
value.
record.
You're cutting people off in the middle of the record and
That was the
just
point
like
of it. Cut people
that
off.
shit's
Like, yo, why?
no.
Like, we supposed
It's
to be having a smoke session. Like, why is niggas rapping and holding the weed? I hate when niggas hold the weed, bro. I hate
yeah.
when niggas hold the weed. Hit the blunt, pass that shit. Stop holding that shit and letting that shit burn. Like, that's
I
what a lot of this I think came from.
I definitely I feel that part, but I didn't like the execution of it. I was just like, because once somebody starts rapping, they get like 8 bars, 9 bars in, and then here comes this skit cutting them off, and I'm just like, these are horrible transitions. One, like, yeah, it might be a fun concept and everything between everybody, and it might have sounded this song might have sounded a lot better if the whole album was better. Like, to have like a fun track, a track like this. But
Mhm.
it was like, damn, when all the songs are low key in this same realm, it's kind of like, I'm good. But I
Reason
I don't know. I just wasn't feeling that one that much.
Reason tweeted, bruh, 1993 is hilarious. And even though I wasn't there when it was made, I can clearly tell this is all fucking Buddy's idea.
Yeah.
Buddy responds and says, me and Smino was rolling up. Kaz walked in. Earth Gang was coming down off of acid. JID was trying to smoke. Oh, yeah. And I gave everybody shrooms. Cole couldn't resist.
Now, okay. That makes a lot more sense because it seems like some old random ass idea shit. Oh, let's add skits and cut everybody off.
I
Like,
liked it.
but I
I
wonder,
liked
I
it.
wonder if they all rapped like 16s or something, and then they just were like, "All right, we're just gonna cut it right. Have the engineer cut it right here and add
Mhm.
some shit, and then somebody else's."
You know what? I like JID on that record. Because he did the whole I sling ping like a lasso, and then he did the Wu Tang vibe joint.
It, no, it does remind me of a Wu Tang song. It does
Yeah.
remind me of like a Wu Tang type song, and that's what I did like about it. It's just I don't know. The skits is what bothered me so much.
Oh man. I'm glad this is something that we disagree on. I
Yeah,
feel really
that's what
strongly about that record. I like
That's
that song.
that's what bothered me so much to where I was like, I mean, I put it no difference on there because it wasn't necessarily bad. It's just like I said, once you start getting into somebody, it just cuts
Yeah,
off, and you're
it
just
makes
like,
you be like, damn, okay. Like he was
yeah,
going right there for a second, or I
yeah,
wanted to
like
see
he
where he
just
was
got
gonna take
into
it.
his
Like
pocket,
like a lot of
and
people
then
were
he cut him
tripping
off.
because they wanted to see, you feel me, like where Cole was finna take his verse. That was
Yeah,
cool.
that's what I'm
You feel
saying.
me? Like, yeah. So,
That's
but
what I'm
I get
saying.
it.
Cole
I get
started getting into it, and then it just cut off. It was like, hey, Cole, you don't even smoke wild lot, and I'm just like,
it.
you're just gonna cut everybody off. All right,
Yes, I'm
that's
cutting
cool.
everybody off. Nigga,
That's
pass me the
cool.
weed, nigga. I'm out.
That's cool. I like Swivel.
Oh, me
That was an
too.
Earth Gang trap.
Yes, that was Earth.
Earth Gang was
Everything that
on.
Earth Gang was on, I liked.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like Earth Gang. Yeah, everything
I did
Earth Gang
too.
was on, I liked.
Swivel is one of my favorites. I didn't like Oh Wow Swerve.
You didn't
I
like the
like the
Zoink
first
Gang?
part. I like the first part, the J. Cole part.
Oh, okay. So we agree here because I like Oh Wow. Oh Wow
Yeah,
is the record that you're talking about.
yeah. Oh wow.
Swerve is the second record with
I'm
Maxo
good.
Cream.
They could have
I'm good off of that.
swerved that whole shit off the motherfucking album. Like,
He for sure could have swerved that shit off the album.
yeah, bro. I could have went completely without it. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I did not need that, and I think like Maxo did his verse. Hook came back with Key on it. Happy on the inside, jelly on the outside, and I know it. No, I'm cool. I'm
yeah,
cool off of all of that.
I was good.
They cut Jitty J verse off of that record, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. They cut his verse off, and he was going on his verse. You feel me? So I was a little disappointed that they cut his verse off. I was like, damn, why didn't y'all like let Jib rap and then cut Maxo off? But yeah, this album could have did without that record.
Yeah,
Don't hit me right now.
I liked it. I liked the hook and the beat.
What's the song about?
I don't know.
You
and
feel me?
everybody rapped 8 bars, and I was just like, okay, it's a lot of people just rapping eights. I kind of wanted, I want 16s, man. Don't give me eights, because then like the first 4 bars is like the intro, everybody
Mhm.
like introducing, getting into their pocket, and then like you get 4 real bars, and then it's the next person, and it's like, God damn, I
Yeah,
want
like the way I used to write my verses, which is hella funny. Like I feel like I didn't really like. I feel like I would try to start with something like really dope for like the first 2 bars, but
to.
I didn't really feel like I was getting into my bag until like around the sixth or the seventh bar.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I'm like, all right,
5,
let me take.
6,
I'm like,
7,
yeah,
you got the
let me take it home now.
yeah, because the first 2 bars you want to make something catchy, something memorable, something like, all right, let me let y'all know I'm here. But then I'm gonna really start showing my ass towards the middle. And it's like once people got into their bags,
It was
these
time.
songs was
It was
like
time
it
for
was yeah,
somebody else.
time for somebody else. Yeah, that was a pet peeve of mine. But I like the sound of Don't Hit Me Right Now, like the overall sound.
Why somebody in the comments said, "Man, I never seen a Versace rap in my life."
Facts.
That's
Facts.
hecka funny.
Wells Fargo's hard pass, like we both said.
Wells Fargo hard pass, yes indeed.
Sleep deprived. Yeah.
It was I think that record was the first record that they started getting into their Dreamville bag.
Yeah, because I had Loot, Omen, Mez, and Devani.
Yeah, she was pretty nice too.
Yeah. Sleep deprived was all right. It didn't sway me either way,
It didn't sway
but
me either.
it was all right. I will say that. Um,
How'd you feel about self love? I liked self love,
yeah, I put one of the better songs on the album, but it still didn't have much replay value to me.
but
Like,
that's one of the better songs on
yeah,
the album.
it was a good song, but it was just like, all right, that's about it. I was just like, all right, it's a good song.
I'm surprised we didn't get more Ari Lennox on this album.
Yeah, I could have used a lot more Ari, but it's a lot of rapping, so I feel like there wasn't a lot of places for her.
Well, and again, I'm going back to the documentary. She had a harder record on the documentary that they were working on that they elected to not put on this album. And I don't know if that's because of other projects that might be coming out later this year, or if like it just didn't live up to what they were trying to do with it or what. But she had a harder record, in my opinion, that they were working on during the sessions that they played on the documentary that I would really, really like to hear. You know what
Mm.
else I would really like to hear? Whatever Vince Staples was doing on Run It Back. Is there a
Okay,
full version of that?
okay. Can we? Okay, all right. We're gonna get into that.
Okay, you want to go somewhere
Because
else first because I
no, no, no.
really
We could get into that. Okay, so that's the probably the first time that I just didn't like what something that Vince Staples was on. Maybe it was just the entirety of the track, but I was just like, okay, he's he's outside of his element, which it's hard for him to be outside of his element because he's an unorthodox like rapper and artist as far as his beat wise, his content, how he raps and everything. And so I was just like, I don't like the track at all. The Rembrandt or Run It Back like that. It was all right, but I don't know. I just didn't get it. Like if I would have got more Vince Staples, maybe without that effect or whatever, like I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. You like that song?
yeah, I want a full version of that record.
Yeah, like and not giving us full versions of these or all these cut off. records, I think that's throwing me off some. It's like I would rather take a longer project with full 16s, full verses and everything than like chopped up shit. That's my opinion. I definitely didn't like Rembrandt. That beat was that beat was garbage. I
I
like the
wrote that
rapping.
I like that they both went off on that record. That's what in my notes I wrote that they both went off on that record. I like that song though.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with the rapping. It has nothing to do with the rapping. Any of my gripes with this album because the rapping was good all the way around. It's just the beats, the way the songs were structured, or like the cohesiveness of the entire project was just not there. It sounded like some mm, I wouldn't necessarily say mixtape shit, but I would say like some shit where you just get a whole bunch of random people together and you just be like, "Hey, you want to jump on? You want to jump on?" And it's a whole bunch of throwaway tracks that they kind of like threw out. Let's see. I didn't like. We said ladies, ladies, ladies. That was underwhelming. I like Sunset. That's my shit. Big
I didn't
ass
like the
chop.
second. I didn't like the second part of Cole's hook. I don't think Cole's hooks aren't the strongest.
I don't think Cole should ever say "big ass chopper made God flinch," but that's a hard line.
That line was hard.
I like you said that. That line was hard, bro. I was like, Cole, you shouldn't be saying that. You should let Nudie say that, but that's a hard line. I like Sunset. I like the last two albums a lot. I mean, the last two tracks a lot too. PTSD and Sacrifices. Both of those are thumbs up.
Let's see. What did I write in my notes? PTSD. Like it. Don't know if I'll ever play it again. Yeah, like it. Don't know if I'll ever play it again.
There's a lot of these. I like it. Don't know if I'll ever play it again. It's like two that I for sure go back to. Sacrifices is dope. That's a Pivot Gang song to me.
Hmm.
That's a Pivot Gang. That like
I think
that.
that was Smino's influence.
Yeah, that was for sure Smino and Seba.
What'd you
That
think
was
about the? Well, actually, no. It was Joint Gang was only on that old wild joint.
yeah. Throw that whole shit away. Throw that whole
No, we
shit away.
liked Oh Wow. We just didn't like the second half. Swerve.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
Oh
yeah. That's
Wow.
what I meant.
She got a big old ass.
Yeah,
I'm
swerve.
proud. Yeah.
Throw that shit away. Um, yeah. I mean, overall, this album probably. I mean, I don't want to be harsh on it like that, but I'd say a 6.5 out of 10.
I'm giving
Six,
it I'm giving it a solid 7.
a solid 7. Yeah, I just feel like maybe I don't think it was rushed, but it doesn't sound like they took as much time to put this together as they should have. And I think it's maybe because you have so many artists, so many different ideas, so many different sounds, and you're trying to blend in everybody together. And then you're using these mediocre like beats and music for people to get on. And
Let's
it's
talk
just
about the people that
right.
weren't on the album.
Oh, you mean like Griselda?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Griselda. West Side Gun, Benny the Butcher, they were a part of these sessions. I don't know if Conway was there. I don't know if Conway pulled up, but I know Benny and West Side were there, and
Didn't
they
West
ended
Side
up.
just drop album?
West Side just dropped an album.
I gotta listen to that. I
It's
thought
really
so.
dope, actually.
I
It's
thought so.
he's
Gotta
he's he's like really descriptive with how he like wants to like kill people and like shoot people.
yeah, I
But yeah,
gotta keep that.
West Side dropped a dope album. But they didn't appear on this Dreamville album. And that caused a little bit of a stir with some of the Griselda fans. They were a little bit perturbed, a little bit irritated that we didn't get any Griselda people on this album, especially with a lot of the rapping that was going on this album. Like how could you, out of all the rappers that showed up, fans were kind of pissed. They were like, "Yo, how do you not put any Griselda artists on the album, but you got Guap Dad on like 4 records?"
Yeah.
Well, Guapdad took exception to that, and he said, "Well, maybe them niggas should have went harder." A
I
little bit
mean,
of a, you feel me? A little bit of a shot. You feel me? He said he was more so talking to their fans. You feel me? Like, yo, if the point of the album was to make dope records and to get on the album, niggas should have tried a little bit harder to, you feel me, to make sure that they made the cut. And I don't disagree with him, but I also don't agree with him because I think that there's something else at play here, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But what did you think? I don't know if you saw this exchange on Twitter with these guys when they was
I
when
seen
they
a
was,
little
when they
bit
was
of it.
tripping.
I seen
Yeah,
a little bit of it, and I just feel like the Griselda boys is they different type of rappers.
they're definitely different type of
They're
rapper.
different type of rappers. They're more gutter. They're more hood. They're more street. And everybody else that's was on the album, that's featured on the album, isn't necessarily in that lane.
Mm.
So if you're say you have a track with Benny or West Side and like them niggas talking about killing somebody or
Who else would
bodying
have been on that
somebody,
record?
yeah. So it's kind of like, they might not have fit
Mm.
the actual aesthetics that Dreamville was trying to
Well,
push on.
Westside said he didn't even drop a verse. He just showed up to show love and see what was going on, but he didn't even rap.
Okay.
So I guess maybe Benny rapped. Benny didn't get put on the album. However,
And Benny got bars.
Benny do got bars. However, J. Cole is also working on the Fall Off project that he mentioned on KOD, that he also mentioned on the album of the year freestyle that he did on the Uchiwali beat earlier this year.
Yeah.
And he said the Fallout was a mixtape or a project that he was working on, and that should also be out this year. So I'm expecting some of the records that ended up on the cutting room floor, or some of the records that maybe didn't get completed or didn't make it onto the Dreamville record, we're gonna see in other spaces
It's called the
throughout
Fallout.
the Fall Off. Did I say the Fallout? My bad. The Fall Off. Yeah.
I wonder what that is saying, or is he trying to say like people say he fell off or something?
He's saying that falling off is inevitable and he doesn't know when it's gonna happen.
Got you.
Guapdad said the Falcon is one of the hardest niggas, period, but that wasn't my point. If the goal was actually to make songs for the album, which is what the sessions were for, the niggas should have went harder in their efforts to do so. This is after Benny the Butcher asked him, who go harder than Griselda, nigga?
Right.
Because you just out here running your ball washers on Twitter.
Right. Right.
Hey, Benny Guapdad said if niggas is mad about it, rap about it. So that's him inviting the smoke, and I'm interested to see it. I'm interested to see
That's
it,
him
to see what
inviting the
comes out of
smoke
it.
on a record.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem too much like Benny and them niggas is more of a I'm gonna hop on this record and talk to you.
they're definitely not.
I might pull up on you and talk to you. You feel me?
Westside
Like
said specifically, "I'm not no internet nigga. I'm
straight the
cool."
fuck off. Like not everybody is with the whole internet back and forth. Let me just rap some shit and keep it on the internet. I'm not like that. Like, but if I got an issue with you, I'm gonna pull up.
This is something we're gonna have to talk about,
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up.
or
Fuck
we
all
could,
this.
you know,
Fuck all this internet shit. Like, niggas, everybody hard over the internet. Everybody hard over the internet. But what you gonna do when somebody pull up though?
it's a good question,
So
man. You know what? This
yeah,
crazy. Everybody that I've talked to about this situation has no loyalty to the home turf, bro. Nobody is like, "Yo, this a Bay nigga, bro. He deserved to be on the project. He put in his work. You feel me? Like he really out here hustling, grinding, all that shit." Everybody's like, "You know what? No, he would get his ass beat."
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like niggas. Not-
I hate to say it, but it's like that. It's like, hey, you might be from the hometown, but you can't. Come on, bro. You know this internet shit. Everybody a clown. Everybody a clown. but when somebody rock up on you though, all that clown shit out the window. So I don't know. I fuck with Griselda. So I don't know. Guap just he need to chill.
I don't
He
think
need
they
to
would have
chill.
fit on this project.
I don't either. So that's why I feel like I see why they would have been left off. The only track I could have seen Benny being on or something would have been like maybe Sunset.
Rembrandt,
That shit was horrible.
hardcoreable.
Yeah, hard, hardcore. No, I just didn't like the beat at all. Like the beats is what killed me on this album. Is what killed me on this album because it's like, man, you gotta have some shit that's like enjoyable,
All right, so let me ask
especially
you
with all
this.
the rapping.
Let me ask you this then. Out of all the records that you heard, out of all the artists that you heard, out of just everything that you had to absorb listening to this album, how did Dreamville itself do? Not talking about the outside
Um,
artists, so not Buddy, not Smino, not Saba, uh, not Guap Dad. You feel me? Not Ty Dolla Sign, none of them. I'm talking about Earth Gang, Loot, Omen, Cole, Ari, you feel
okay.
me? JID,
With that being
Bass, and
said,
Kaz.
J.
And
Cole's
also, I
songs
didn't
that
even
I see.
notice, I didn't realize or know that Kaz is from LA.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
I fucked with Kaz like when he first signed with Dreamville. Like I fucked with his little two projects that he had out beforehand. And I was like, Kaz is kind of nice.
Mhm.
He kind of nice. Like right when Boss had his little when J. Cole was trying to push him a little bit, they had
Yeah.
like quietly signed Kaz, and him and Kaz had a track or two out that they were pushing. I started looking into Kaz, and I was like, oh, Kaz is kind of nice. He
Okay.
kind of nice. But as far as for this album, J. Cole, his verses were all good. I like that. Loot, he makes me want to look into him.
Yes.
Like the two or three songs that he was on, he made me want to look into him a little more. Earth Gang, I like. Earth Gang definitely stood out. JID, he he's JID. I mean, like I say that to say like he's good. Everybody knows he could rap. Um, everybody else from Dreamville really didn't show me too much.
Mm-hmm.
Really didn't show me too much. Either didn't stand out or like I would listen to the whole track and it was so many people on the track that their verses didn't stand out or like it didn't sway me anyway.
I pretty
But
much agree with
definitely
you.
Cole, Loot, and Earth Gang stood out.
Mm-hmm. I
I
pretty
wouldn't
much
even
agree
say
with you there.
Jid. I wouldn't even say Jid or JID. What is the fuck his name? Is it Jid or JID?
It's JID, but I think you can call him Jitty Jid if you want to.
You saying we could call him
You could call him Jid.
that?
You could call him Jid because it, I don't know, but from what I've
Because I don't
seen,
know.
I think it's officially JID, but he doesn't mind being called Jid. when I've heard
That's
people call him
crazy
Jid, or like
because I would
maybe
have
they'll call him that
all
as a
kind
nickname
of
or whatever.
issues if my name was JID and people were calling me Jid.
Oh god, that's like when I used to rap and like before I just changed it before I like got like smart and just shortened the name to Graham when I was like Billy Graham, like hella fucking dumb. Uh when people would call me Billy, I'm like, yo, that's not the cool part of the name. Say the cool part of the name, you know? like
Right,
like
right.
no,
I'd be
nobody's
like,
walking around talking to Lloyd Banks and like, hey Lloyd, yeah, yeah. like, hey, fuck
right,
you.
hey, for sure, for sure. Hey, Lloyd, that's hella funny.
But no, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think Cole, of course, did a bunch of Cole shit.
Mhm.
JID did a bunch of JID shit. Earth Gang really impressed me. I had heard their last two EPs before this, and I really
Yeah,
liked them. So I'm interested in Earth Gang. I liked what they did. Loot did kind of stand out to me, and then also the other guy. I don't know if Mez is signed to TDE in any capacity, but every time I heard him, he was dope too. And
Mez, you said
yeah,
he's on TDE.
no, on Dreamville. Did I say TDE? I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. But I don't know. I don't know if he signed to Dreamville in any capacity. But every time I heard him on this album, I think he's on two or three records, and he
Yeah, he
has
was on
only like
sleep deprived
he went off on that. He's
and
also on Costa Rica, I think, too, right, or something. Either way,
Costa
either way.
Rica.
Uh, if I'm not mistaken, he also directed the Middle Child video. I think somebody like that is good to have on your
Real?
team.
Hmm, that's interesting.
Yeah, but
That's interesting.
Omen didn't impress me. Boss didn't impress me. Kaz didn't impress me. Uh, but everything else was good. Ari did some Ari shit. I would have liked to have more Ari Lennox on this album, but I can understand why they didn't have more of her on there. Um, just
You
with
know what I think?
all the other audiences and the other artists that they had to serve. But go ahead.
Dreamville needs to. They have enough rappers, rapidy rappers. I feel like they need other type of artists to balance it out.
Well, I think that that's what they have, though. I think they kind of have that balance because I
Mm,
don't really
I put
consider
Kaz, Baz, JID, Earth Gang. I mean, like Earth Gang is different than them, but I
Earth
put
Gang is different.
yeah,
I
Earth
think
Gang is different.
Earth Gang. I think Earth Gang, Loot,
I haven't heard enough
Ari.
of Luke to
Yeah, that's
sway
true.
that
That's true.
opinion
That's true.
yet.
Honestly, yeah. But just based off of like what I heard from this album, I don't think he's that type of artist.
Yeah, but I feel like they have a lot. That's why it's like Kaz and Boss don't really stand out as much because you already have J Cole and JID who are like just super rappers, like just. And then it's like when you put
Are
a
Koss and
whole bunch
Boss
of
rapidy rap niggas too? Because I haven't heard a lot of their shit outside of
Kaz
Dreamville
is
Records. Koss is.
Kaz is, but he's more of a West Coast
With his
rap.
lyricism,
So
it's like, yeah, it's
yeah,
a little different.
yeah. Because he tends to rap over slower beats. I would say Kaz is kind of like a reason in that type of realm. I'm not gonna like compare them definitely, but just like his style is more like LA lyricism. And then Boss gets into his bag, but I don't know, it just doesn't he doesn't stand out as much. And of course, yeah, you got Ari, who's different. I don't know anything about Omen.
I don't know anything about Omen either. Oh, he makes beats too. I know he's a part of the production team as well.
Omen, you need to. If Omen
yeah,
is the one making these beats, man, you and Cole need to.
Omen might need to step it up a little bit, man.
Yeah, yeah, because those beats.
Omen might need to step it up a little bit. What the fuck happened in my joint?
And then Zoink Gang, I have no idea who Zoink Gang is.
Okay, so Zoink Gang is Smino, Guap Dad, JID, and Buddy.
How many fucking groups is Smino in?
I don't know, man. How many groups is JID in? Because he was also in a group with Earth Gang before they signed to Dreamville.
Like, I don't know. That's so weird to me. Like I said, it's like the new, it's like the new NBA. Everybody want to be friends and click up and hey, let's call ourselves this.
Dame Lillard ain't with none of that click up shit, none of that
Yeah,
team up shit, none of that.
yeah. Ain't none of that going on. I like that shit, but yeah, I just I don't know. It was it was an alright album. Like I said, I'd give this a 6.5 out of 10. Um, there's just not a lot of standouts and not a lot of songs that I'm just gonna turn my turn any of my like streaming platforms on and be like, oh, I'm about to go listen to Wells Fargo. I feel like it's that kind of day. I'm about to listen to a self love. Like, nah, it's a hard pass. There's hella other shit that I'd rather listen to. Under the Sun, I'll listen to that again. Under the Sun,
Yeah, I put that on the
Sacrifices.
playlist this week for her to first.
Yeah, Sacrifices. Sunset, just because I like that line.
I think that's
But
probably the best part about Sunset, to be honest.
that is big ass
Yeah,
shot made God flinch.
yeah. So that's our Dreamville review. Anything else that you want to add to that
Uh,
before we like wrap up?
I hope the fall off or whatever that shit's called is better.
Probably will. It'll be
Uh,
a cold standalone project. He's taking his time with that. It was like, yo, let's rent out this studio for 10 days, and then for the rest of the year, I'm gonna finish working on my project.
yeah, that's what this felt like. This felt like something where it was just like, let's get a whole bunch of heads in here and
I think that was
just
dope.
get some shit done. Yeah, it's dope. It's a good idea. It's definitely a good idea.
But like I said at the beginning of the when we first started, like I think that this is more of one of those situations. If more people pick this up, if more rap camps pick this up, I think this is something that will get better over time.
Definitely,
But I don't think
definitely.
that that's going to happen.
I definitely don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Just one, you have to have a cool person for everybody to want to do this for. I think everybody wanted to or gravitated towards it because it was J. Cole hosting it. And J. Cole has always been known to be like
hella
kind of like a loner.
secluded
Yeah.
and
And
yeah,
so it's like if J. Cole is reaching out and like, hey, come to this session and I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of cool rappers in here doing shit with me. People are more intrigued because they're like, oh, you seem like a rapper that just locks yourself in the studio by yourself and
yeah.
doesn't have nobody else come in. You know, like
Basically, that's what it's
If
been.
Kanye does, I mean, Kanye does shit like this, but I don't think it's all the rappers in there at one time. And then people don't ever know what their shit's gonna be on. 2 years later, Kanye drops some shit and will have your vocals in it, and it'll
Oh
be
well,
just like, but it'll be cohesive. This just sounded like you said, 10 days. 10 days.
yeah.
Let's put this project together. Let's make the beats. Let's rap and let's get it mixed. And yeah, we're gonna move on from this.
This was Cole challenging his artists to be able to stand up and stand out under pressure, and when it came to outside rappers and producers and shit that also wanted to make the cut, they had to really show their ass. And I think that they did well enough to deserve some praise, and you feel me, deserve some applause for the effort that they put in. But I also do think that based on the records that we got and based on the features that we got, the Dreamville artist got outshined.
For sure. For sure. That was my gripe. Remember when I was like,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like this as a Dreamville project because the actual Dreamville artists for the most part, the newer ones, the ones that people aren't as familiar with, people still aren't familiar with them.
Yeah.
People still aren't familiar with them, so it's like you did
Well,
all that for
I would say
other
that the
artists
newer
that weren't
artists are. I would
really
say that the newer artists, being Jid, Ari, Earth Gang, are a little bit more known. Not Earth Gang. I would say Jid and Ari
yeah,
more known or more accepted by the masses than Boss and Kaz are. I
yeah.
think
No,
Boss
I
and
would say
Kaz have like
that
a
they have way
niche.
more commercial success.
Yeah.
Like um Ari's kind of like an exception because she's a singer,
Hmm.
but like Jid definitely. Boss never caught that wave. J. Cole tried. J. Cole pushed him and
Yeah,
put
he
him
did.
out. Kaz never really caught on like that either. Um,
But I think this is a second chance effort. You feel me? To say, okay, we now have a fully functioning label. We now have all of the resources that we need, and we're just gonna go all out and pushing these niggas now.
they didn't have any big producers on his, did they?
No, they had T minus Swiss Beats. I don't think had any production on here. I know he was there. Wale was also there too. He didn't get on the album either.
And y'all not having Wale on the album is a complete slip up. Is a complete slip up.
Wale fits
Wa-
that Dreamville bag,
Wale
man.
Wale would have for sure bodied some shit.
Wale would have killed self love.
Man, Wale would
Wale
have
would have
killed damn near
uh
any of these.
you
Any of these. I would have been here
Wale
for
would have
Wale
killed Sunset. He would have been
for
dope on
sure.
Got Me. He would have been dope on PTSD.
Oh, he
Wale
would have.
would have
I was
been
gonna
dope
say
on
PTSD.
Wale would have been dope on Oh Wow. Uh
Swivel.
yeah, he would have been
Uh,
dope on Swivel. Uh
he would
maybe
have been
even
dope on "Don't Hit Me Right Now."
I was gonna say that. Yep. He would have even been
Yeah, he
dope
would
on
have
that.
been.
Damn, man. Wale would have killed some of this shit that's on here. And it would
Wale
have
would have.
been
Wale would have bodied some shit.
niggas gotta stop hating on Wale, man. Like he would have
Yeah,
he would have really been in his bag. But
yeah.
yeah,
Facts, facts
but
only.
I agree. I'm glad we agreed on that one. You feel well, we always agree on Wale shit. But
Yeah,
yeah, for those of you that have tapped into the video portion, we appreciate y'all. Subscribe is somewhere over here where you could
somewhere
press a
on this
button
mug,
and
the little
subscribe.
red thing.
Yeah, I mean, you feel me? For those of you that are listening to the audio portion of this, leave us like a review or like I don't know, share it to you feel me? Like, hey, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. If this is something that you like or something that you feel me like you were you agreed with some of our points, even if you hated some of our points. You feel me? If you think that somebody might gravitate towards this, or somebody that you know might fuck with it, go ahead and send it to them and let them know about it.
Yeah, yeah. Let them know. Let them know for sure, and let us know. Let us know if y'all agree with some of our opinions. If y'all disagree with some of our opinions, we like feedback. We like to be collaborative. You know.
Definitely, definitely. And you can share those opinions by following us at 2BLVCKSHEEP on Instagram, Twitter,
Boom,
also on
boom,
Facebook. We don't really push that a
boom.
lot because,
But it's there.
old niggas do Facebook.
Yeah,
You
but it's
feel me?
there.
But yeah,
But it's
definitely
there.
it's there. It's there. Check us out every week. We drop a playlist. Heard it first
We'll be
on
out tomorrow.
Apple Music, Spotify title. If you are an upcoming artist and you would like to submit your music, you can go ahead and tweet your links to us or send it to us directly at 2blacksheep at gmail.com and
Yes,
we'll go ahead
sir.
and check it out. If we're inclined to give you some feedback, we'll give you some feedback. And if you make it onto the playlist, we'll go ahead and let you know that ahead of the playlist dropping as well, just so you'll kind of know what's coming around the mountain, as they say.
Yeah, yes, sir. And that playlist comes out once a month. It will be out this Wednesday. Share submissions for last month at least. So we're taking submissions right now for this month, which will be dropping at the top of next month, the top of August. So
Yes, indeed.
so
Yes.
yeah, hit follow, hit subscribe on all across the board. Two Black Sheep, like
Like
Graham
this
said,
joint, like this joint, like this joint, like this joint. And
right?
then again, yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend, share it to a friend, a neighbor, a peer, an associate, a co-worker. You feel me? One of the ushers at church. Yeah, I said ushers. You feel you know what I'm
Right?
saying? But yeah, tap in, stay tuned in with the yeah, I mean, and we'll be back. We'll be doing another one of these reviews pretty soon here. Just gotta figure out what we'll do it for. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, because there's some interesting music coming out. Jaden just dropped a nice project. Nas is dropping on the 19th
Lost
this
tapes.
month. Lost Tapes 2. So yeah, just hit us up at Two Black Sheep, Instagram, Twitter. Let us know what you think of this. Let us know what you would like to see us review, and we'll tap in. We'll do that.
Hell yeah. But it's been real, y'all. It's been great. And it's been Two Black Sheep.
And it's still the hustle.
Right? Bye.
Bye. Peace.
Gone.